Cool, I think this is on. Hey, welcome. I'm filming on a new thing. Filming actually on my art tablet, so the space is really wide, which is pretty cool, but it's really new for me, and I'm also not sure where to look. So there's a red button for the record button, and I figured out that I think that's where I'm supposed to look, so it doesn't look like I'm looking off to the side. Anyway, I hope this is actually working because I've never used a mic with this before, so let's see. This is part of my Inktober series of videos that I'm trying to make more regular for this month of October. Anyway, I asked my Instagram followers recently to ask me some questions that had to do specifically with inking and the inking process. So I'm going to go through a few of those questions and hopefully give you some useful answers. Let's see what we got. And by the way, thank you to everyone who did ask a question. I'm going to do a sample here of several of the questions, and if this goes well, maybe I'll do a part 2 where I answer the rest of the questions. Somebody asked me favorite ink and why. My favorite ink is Winsor Newton ink. I did a tools of the trade video probably a year and a half ago at this point, but that's the ink that I suggested for what I like to use. Winsor Newton ink, I've tried a lot of different inks before. That one has a nice texture and it dries really nice and flat. Some inks are very watery, and then other inks are like molasses. This is like a nice in-between. So yeah, Winsor Newton Black India ink. That's the ink that I use. Okay, this next question is, what size brush should I use? There's all different sizes of brushes. This brush is what I've been using more regularly. This is a number 4 brush. I guess for the longest time, I was using mainly a number 2 brush. The reason why I've been liking this number 4 brush is because when you look at a brush, one of the great things I like about inking with a brush is that you get a real nice range of line, depending on how much you press down and how much of the brush you're using. So, you know, the thickest part of the brush will give you a much thicker line, and then you can get a really nice thin line when you're just using the tip of the brush. So it really almost doesn't matter the size of the brush you're using. It's how you control what part of the bristles that you're using, if that makes sense. So I like using a number 4 because within one line I can get a really nice thick line and then make it really thin by just using the tip, all with just one stroke. So you get a better bang for your buck, I guess. So yeah, currently I'm using a number 4 quite a bit, especially on a lot of the Inktober drawings that I've been posting. This question says, when making comics, do you ink right on top of your pencils, or do you scan print on another page and ink over like a printed out version? I think that's what the question is. When I'm inking traditionally, with my comics nowadays, I make all my comics digitally just because of convenience. Deadlines are really tight, so I draw everything from start to finish digitally when I'm working on comics. But when I am drawing traditionally and I'm inking something traditionally, I've never actually inked on top of like a printout. I know some people do that. They will draw something, pencil something digitally, and then print it out in blue line, and then ink directly on top of that. And then when you scan in the final artwork, you can drop out those blue lines. That just saves you the time of erasing things, but I've never actually done that, but that is a technique. So when I am inking traditionally, I just ink right on top of the pencils. And one of the things I'll do, if the pencils are too dark, I'll just lightly kind of erase over the whole thing, just so that I see like a bit of a ghost of the image, and then therefore I can see the lines that I'm putting down a lot more clearly. So yeah. Somebody said, I'd love to hear about ink washes. I would too. No, I don't do ink washes that much, but I think I remember filming something for some video that I made recently. Maybe it was for an inking video on this channel, or it might have been for a Skillshare class, I'm not sure, but I'll try to link that or put that up right now. But I guess the basic thing about ink washes is controlling how much water you add to the ink or how much ink you add to the water. Ink washes are very similar to watercolor, so you're building up with thin layers of ink. So yeah, I don't use it too much, but it's a nice technique when you want to add like a like tonal quality to your work. Yeah, ink washes are really all about controlling the amount of water that you add to the ink. What do you miss about working digitally when you ink? I guess that means when I'm inking traditionally. What I miss about working digitally, probably like a backspace button. It's funny, when I go for long stretches of time where I'm just working digitally, when I'm working on like client work. And then if I pick up a traditional tool and start to ink, there is a quick like knee-jerk reaction to want to hit the step backward button. So that's really weird. That's one of the reasons why I try to keep up. I try not to lose the ability to still work with traditional tools, because although digital is great, I love it, you do get into a certain kind of headspace when you're working digitally that you have to kind of adjust when you go back to working with traditional tools. So one of the things I will miss is the backspace button. You can also spill ink when you're working traditionally. So yeah, I like that aspect about working digitally as well. All right, so that was pretty quick, quicker than I thought it would take. Maybe I should have elaborated on some of my answers, but with these Inktober videos, I'm trying to keeping them short so that they're not like super long. Really just like an extended version of what I might put into an Instagram story video or something like that. So if you would like to see a part 2 of this, comment down below, let me know. I might do another round of these. This is kind of fun. I kind of like this. Anyway, hope you like this. If you'd like me to elaborate on any of these answers in the comment section, just let me know and I'll do that. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.